Greetings. We will be having an overview of sandflies today, and these are coming from the family Psychodidae and genus Phlebotomus and genus Lutzomia. So, generally, the classification of these uh, fly is from kingdom Animalia, phylum Arthropoda, class Insecta, order Diptera, and family Psychodidae, which usually the moth and the sandflies belong in there, and subfamily Phlebotominae, and genus. There's three major genuses from this group of Phlebotomus, Lutomia, and Segentomia. So the overview of this work will be discussing the geographical distribution, the causes of the disease they transmit, and again, the control. These are widely distributed in the tropics and subtropics, extending to some areas of New and Old World, which is about 50 degrees north. The genus Phlebotomus occurs in the Old World, and especially the southern parts and the northern part of the temperate areas in the tropics. And when we talk about Old World and New World, these are classifications that are mainly based on the geographical distribution. And some places, the New World are known as like European places, and Old World are known as like Indian subregion, the Africa, and the Central Asia. And so Lutomia species are mostly found in the New World, or the tropics and subtropics, and Segentomia as the species that are confined to the world, the old world of India, sub-region, and Africa and Central Asia. So the members of this family are usually very, very small and compared to smaller than mosquitoes. They're so small such that sometimes they may be able to pass through the holes of a mosquito net. So mosquito nets are not really effective in this context. And they're very small and they're very hairy flies. And they possess wings, a pair of wings, and they hold their wings in a V-shaped when they're at rest. I'll show you a picture shortly. And the family Psychodidae consists of 5 different subfamilies. And only the subfamily Phlebotominae is the one that consists of species that are of medical importance. And the most, just like how we've seen in mosquitoes, in these flies, females feed on varieties of vertebrates, and they usually are exophagic. Exophagic meaning they like to feed outside rather than feeding inside. And we usually have with low dispersal, they usually have a hopping type of flight inhibited by the winds, meaning they cannot fly a long distance at once. So they will be like hopping from one flight to another, and they could hop for a short distance between 30 centimeters to 100 thousand meters, but on overall they can fly all the way. In a night they can go all the way up to 2 kilometers, but they fly in short instances. And the mouth parts are so convoluted such that they inhibit them biting through clothes sometimes. So phlebotomus of the old world, mostly in the semi-arid and savanna areas, and Lutzomia, as I said, is in the new world, which is mostly in the forested areas. They may be seasonal depending on species, weather, and whether the temperature is temperate or tropical. The habits. Only female sandflies, as I mentioned before, are the bloodsuckers. They are nocturnal feeders, meaning they feed at night, but they may also bite during the day. And especially if the rooms are dark. They're poor flyers. I mentioned they can go, they can jump 30 to 1,000 meters in a hopping flight, and they can complete until an entire kilometer this way, up to 2. And in temperate areas, they're prevalent in summer. In temperate areas, this means these are areas like Europe where they usually have snow, and they're usually prevalent in the summer months, which are June, July, August. And the larvae usually survive through the winter, while the tropics is common throughout the year. And the habitats and feeding adults are often found around the sewage and installations, in public washrooms, bathrooms, and the homes they're usually attracted to light. And the larvae live in organic sludge, right? That forms in the inner surface of drains and sewage pipes. The pupae can occur on the surface of organic film that the larvae can be living in. So the pupae emerge from there, and the larvae feed on algae, fungi, and bacteria. So, and adults usually feed in polluted water and flower nectar, especially the ones that are not pregnant, and male sandflies. Adult phlobotomas are usually small in size. They measure between 1.3 to 3.5 millimeters in length. They can go all the way up to 5 millimeters. They appear light yellow to gray in color. And the flies are usually very hairy in appearance. The head is elongated and bears an antenna, which contains of 16 segments. Mouth parts are short and adapted for biting. This is how a sandfly would look like. And you remember I told you the V-shape appearance that they admit. This is the V-shape appearance of the flies. And they're usually very hairy. From their bodies all the way to their wings, they're also very hairy. You could see more hairy situations here. They usually have very long legs and hairy body and wings. This is another image of the sandfly, which is feeding from a human being, and it is full of blood, abdomen full of blood. So the immature sandflies, the eggs are not laid in water, but they need humidity. They usually lay the eggs in cracks and crevices and varies depending on species. Typically, the lower fly life cycle include the egg, four larva instars, pupa, and adults. You'll see that in a moment. And larvae feed on decaying organic matter, and pupa very difficult to larvae and pupa are very difficult to collect because of the way they are and the places they are usually developing. So this is an example of sandfly larvae, and it usually has two pairs of caudal bristles or matchstick hairs, and the pupa larva skin with the characteristic of caudal bristles. These ones are there. You could find them here. So this is typically a sandfly larva and larvae and pupa. Medical importance. These are usually transmitted Leishmania species. These are species of humans and dogs. They also transmit Bartonella bacilliformis, which is known as Carrier's disease. They also transmit viruses, then cause something known as sandfly fever. Visceral leishmaniasis can be caused by Leishmania longipalis, Phlebotomus argentifes, and Phlebotomus chinensis. So these are coming from different parts of the world, and depending on where they're usually found. And Phlebotomus martinensis is usually found in East Africa. Cutaneous leishmaniasis, Phlebotomus argenti, which is found in India, mostly Phlebotomus papatasi in the Mediterranean, Leishmania veracarum, which is also found in the Americas, Central and Southern, and mucocutaneous leishmaniasis is caused by Leishmania intermedia, right? So just to recap, so different types of leishmaniasis are caused by different species of these sandflies. So for visceral leishmaniasis, you can find Leishmania longipalis, and then Phlebotomus argentifes, and Phlebotomus chinensis in different parts of the world. But cutaneous, they cause Phlebotomus argentis, Phlebotomus papatasi, and Leishmania veracum. And mucocutaneous leishmaniasis is usually caused by Leishmania intermedia. The life cycle of the sandfly is after fertilization. The female Phlebotomus species search for blood meals, just like how happens in mosquitoes. Females lay irregular masses of 30 to 200 eggs in organic gelatinous films in the drains, particularly in the bathtubs and showers. And eggs hatch 32 to 48 hours after being laid, pretty quick. And ambient temperatures range about 20 degrees, and larvae, they pupate 9 to 15 days later. So this short half-life of 34 to 32 to 48 hours also determines the size of these flies. The larvae feed on organic matter, decaying forest leaves, animal feces, and other decomposing bodies of arthropods. They go through 4 larva instars, and the larva development takes up to can take up to 60 days. Right? So could be the larva becomes a pupa 9 to 15 days later, but then sometimes depending on the species, it can go all the way up to 60 days later. When fully grown, the fourth stage of the larva instar becomes motionless and molts into pupa. 1 to 2 weeks, the adult fly emerges. So this is a cycle. We have the adult lays eggs, eggs go through the 4 stages of instars, a larva instar stage that then becomes a pupa and then becomes an adult again. These are typical characteristics of the hairy processes that distinguish them from other larvae of sandflies. So the control for sandflies, these are susceptible to most insecticides. In most areas where insecticides have been used to control Anopheles, there has been a drastic reduction in sandfly populations followed by interruption of leishmania transmissions. Control measures, the use of insecticides for residual spraying in dwellings in animal shelters, spraying insecticide-treated nets, also impregnated dog collars, and postal protection by application of repellents. These are useful control measures for the insecticide, for the sandflies. In the PPE, postal protection, use of efficient insect repellents, example, diethylotolamide, or dimethyl phthalate. Also, you can use others, apply insects repellent to expose skin under the ends of sleeves and pants and legs, because usually they won't be able to bite you through the crotch, so they use look for empty skin. Also, most effective repellents usually contain DEET. So again, stay in well-screened houses, and then this is important to note. Well-screened houses, nyumba zenye nyavu. So the sandflies are much smaller than mosquitoes, therefore they can get through smaller holes, so the screens should be much smaller. Spray living and sleeping in areas with an insecticides to kill the insects, but also some of the insecticides included are the ones listed there, such as organophosphates, carbamates, and organochlorides. Use a bed net that has been sprayed in pyrethroid containing insecticides, usually can help to prevent the sandfly spread. Sandflies breed in the dark in the corners of the crevices of the walls, having rich humid and moisture. The walls of the resting sites should be plastered. Filling the cracks and the crevices with mud and lime can help, but beds should be positioned away from the walls. So these are examples of sandfly habitat in these areas in Rio de Janeiro. And these are some of the features of the spray to control sandflies. Thank you very much.